Alfred! Good man, Alfred! 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 Come here. Come here. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right. It's lovely, isn't it, boy?
Oh, so but he's messed up Europe.
Oh, there's nothing to mess up. Yeah, any road. It's going to need a right good digging and all.
Oh, it's a bit of compost is what you need to prepare the soil like.
Oh, that's really nice of you, but I can't afford.
Oh, no. I'll make my own. I could lend you some tools as well.
That's really kind of you. Thank you. I'm Amy, by the way.
Oh. I'm David.
I used to live round here, but me and my parents moved down south when I was a teenager. It's nice to be back.
So, just moved in, have you?
Yeah.
It's just that I thought that these cottages were empty. I thought they belonged to Mr. Lawson, like.
They do. Amy's his niece. He's letting us stay here for a while. Anyway, we've got to get on.
Oh, right. Well, I'll drop the compost off later then.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, come on.
Why did you have to be so rude?
You know why. The last thing we want is locals sniffing about.
David, I want you to drive me down to Ashfordley this afternoon. An old business associate I want to see.
Oh, I can't, Mr. Vernon. Well, not until I've taken Miss Amy's compost and that, anyway.
Miss Amy, who's she?
Well, she's Mr. Lawson's niece. She's pregnant.
Lawson? You mean Jeff Lawson? He used to have the paper factory.
Yeah, he's got them cottages up by Oddie's Field, and that's where Miss Amy's staying. And, Mr. Amy.
Mr. Amy?
I don't know his name.
Oh, never mind, David. You drop the stuff off and then drive me down to Ashfordley.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Those cottages up at Oddie's Field, they're derelict, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. Jeff Lawson's planning to develop them into holiday homes. I wish he'd get a move on. They're an eyesore. Why?
Oh, I was just wondering why he'd let his niece live there, especially if she's pregnant.
Niece? He doesn't have a niece.
Is that the lot?
That's the last one.
Good. All right.
Hello, Mr. Lawson. PC Mike Bradley, Ashfordley Police.
What are you playing at? First one nosy local, now another.
They're just being kind.
Oh, I've done, so I'll be off now.
Thank you, David.
Make these yourselves, then?
Yeah. Steve's the one with all the talent. He's hoping to sell some.
Really?
Oh, well, there's a bring and buy sale at the village hall tomorrow. Maybe you can sell some there.
David, I wouldn't go raising their hopes. I think you'll find that most people around here don't appreciate the more aesthetic things in life.
Well, maybe we could give it a try anyway.
You know, I could fork all that compost in for you if you like.
Or he could if he didn't have a prior engagement.
You've done more than enough. We're very grateful.
Come on, David. Whitby awaits.
Whitby? I thought you were going to Ashfordley.
Yes, well, I've changed my mind. I thought we might do a little bit of window shopping. Perhaps browse some of the craft shops.
See ya. Steve?
John? Wow, Laura?
Hey, Steve. Wow. Laura, look.
What is this? I thought we were setting up all together, not bringing the commune with us.
I didn't know they were coming. I don't even recognise half of them. They must have got wind of it from somewhere.
What are we going to do?
Well, there's not a lot we can do, is there? It's not our property, so we can't turn them away. Anyway, we'd be as bad as Lawson if we did. You'd better get a move on with those logs. We've had people sniffing around already.
Anyway, I rang Lawson, and he hasn't got a niece. Plus, he's not given anyone permission to stay in those cottages.
I see.
Looks like we've got squatters on our hands, Sarge.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Lawson's on his way over here now. I said we'd accompany him.
Good work, Bradley.
That's the 10th craft shop we've visited.
I know, my feet are killing me.
And what have we seen in them, David? Lots of locally produced pots that the tourists will happily pay a fortune for.
Well, you told that Mr. Steve that his pots probably wouldn't sell.
That's right.
Well, now you're saying they will.
That's right, David. Got it in one.
A man lives at the corner of the street, and his neighbours think he's helpful and he's sweet. 'Cause he never swears and he always shakes your boy.
They've all got new locks. I thought you said they'd just taken one over.
They had.
Can I help you?
Yes, you blooming well can. You can open this door right now.
And who are you?
The owner.
Not anymore, you're not.
This is ridiculous. I want these trespassers removed right now.
Were these cottages securely locked when you last left them?
What's that got to do with it?
Well, quite a lot, actually, were they?
Well, no, I mean, there wasn't much to lock, was there? They're derelict.
The doors were hanging off. We just walked straight in.
There you are, he's admitted it. They're trespassing.
Well, strictly speaking, Mr. Lawson, if they didn't use force to gain entry, then they've committed no crime.
You what? I never heard such a load of rubbish. Well, if you won't get them out, I will.
Mr. Lawson, I can't let you do that.
You just watch me.
But if you do, I'll have to arrest you for forcible entry.
They're my cottages!
We are well aware of that, but there are procedures to follow.
The procedure is they're leaving.
I suggest that you apply to the civil court for a possession order, then you can have these people evicted.
And how long's that going to take?
See you later. Bye. There. I told you it was worth coming.
What? I wanted it to be just the two of us.
And what will you want next? For me to get a proper job and for us to move into a nice little semi?
No, I just... It don't matter. I wish we'd never done this in the first place.
Well, you're the one with the idea about the cottages.
Yeah, I wasn't the one who suggested squatting, though.
You just don't understand this, do you? People like Lawson are just out to make a big fat profit.
Look, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'll get you another drink. Pie, please.
You're Fred and Ada's daughter, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Aye, I thought I recognised you. So you're not Jeff Lawson's niece, then?
Well, I think it's a crime that Lawson's going to use them cottages as holiday homes, especially when there's people crying out for decent housing.
Did I say anything?
No, but you were going to.
Listen, when the war ended...
Oh, here we go.
When the war ended and we all came home, us ex-servicemen were treated like heroes. Once the clapping and the cheering stopped, it was back to reality. Out of work, families to support, and plenty of people with nowhere to live. Did they get any help?
So what happened?
They helped themselves. Hundreds of them. All across the country. They moved into the empty service camps. They took over the Nissen huts.
Joking?
Now, I don't approve of lying, but I'm not altogether unsympathetic with the principle of what you're doing.
Well, who'd have thought it, eh? Oscar Blaketon, the squatter's friend. Do you want the same again?
Please.
Ah, Mr.
Steve.
Steve. How's the pottery coming along?
Great. Why?
I was thinking I might be able to lend you a helping hand. An act of neighbourliness, so to speak. I may be able to find an outlet for your pots.
Really? And what's in it for you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Well, maybe a small percentage just to cover overheads and costs.
Sounds like capitalism to me. Anyway, I've already got a stall booked at the bring and buy sale, so thanks, but no thanks.
Hiya. These are lovely.
They are, aren't they? You must be Steve.
Tricia's the doctor. She does my antenatal checks.
And I've told her to take it easy, so I hope you're keeping an eye on her.
She's old enough to look after herself, don't you think?
Hey, come on, Marion. You're not buying out off him. He's one of them lice-ridden layabouts what broke into Lawson's cottages. And so are the rest of them.
We didn't actually break in, they were empty.
So what? If he wants to keep them empty, he can do. It's his property.
All property is theft.
Hey, now you don't go calling him a thief. Whatever he's owned, he's worked for. Unlike you lot.
And all we're doing is redistributing his wealth.
You're taking some of it ain't yours, you mean? Now why don't you go back down south and find yourself a job? Try doing a decent day's work for a change.
Come on now, break it up, or I'll have to charge you with destructive...
You've made your point, sir. Just stand back. We're all here to enjoy ourselves, not start flipping World War III.
Hippies make me sick.
Just our luck being stuck in here with paperwork. Our Phil's off skiving somewhere.
Yeah, but then again, he does have... oh, cheers, Alf. He does have Tom under his feet.
That's true.
Bradley, I've just had an urgent phone call from Mr. Lawson.
It's a shame, we were doing all right till he came along.
Yeah. Well, it might have helped if you hadn't stood there looking guilty. You could have at least spoken up for yourself. Like Laura did.
Oh, you seem to have lost all your customers.
There's other places?
Trouble is, in an area as small as this, your reputation, albeit false, may well precede you. However, my contacts range far and wide.
What sort of a percentage were you thinking of?
They must have got wind of the fact that I'm applying for possession orders. They've done it to spite me.
Sarge, why would they want to ruin the place they're living in?
Well, maybe Lawson's right. Probably they knew they weren't going to be here much longer.
So why not do that when they're leaving?
Well, perhaps they're planning to, Bradley. But they won't get far. Right, Mr. Lawson, leave this to me. I'm arresting you all on suspicion of malicious damage.
Arrest us for what? Sarge, how are we going to get this lot out of the station?
How do you think, Bradley?
What?
Drive them.
Drive them?
Mm-hmm.
Arrest us for what? Right, you lot, come on, back in the van. Back in the van.
What have we done?
Back in the van. What have we done?
Is the kettle on, Alf?
No time for that, Phil.
How do you mean?
Right, get this lot into the cells, process them, and get them out of here as soon as possible.
Ridiculous! Fascist! What are you doing?
Come on, ladies, make yourselves at home.
You haven't even done.
Scarborough, we had loads of cells. We should have more than 2.
Oh, don't be silly. You get another 20 in there.
I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't ring true to me. They smash the place up, disappear for a while, and then come home again.
What does Craddock think?
Well, I think he's letting his sympathy for Lawson cloud his judgment. He's sure it's them.
What about you? Who do you think it might be?
Lawson himself. Maybe he just wants them out of the way so he can get his cottages back.
Well, if that's the case, he'll be turning up there again. Quite soon.
Where are you two going?
Look, Alf, we've just got to sort something out.
But we've got that rabble out there to process.
Well, Tom will help you. Or you, Tom?
Thanks for putting this our way, Mr. Lawson.
Just so long as you and your mates can keep your mouth shut.
Of course we can, can't we, lads? Right then, so you want the window panes replacing. What about the floorboards? How badly damaged were they?
Oh, it won't take a minute to bang them back in. But don't forget to change the locks first. Give them a taste of their own medicine, eh?
I'm afraid we can't let you do that, Mr. Lawson.
Telling you I didn't wreck the cottages. I was just there to put right the damage they'd caused.
I wasn't aware the locks had been damaged. Yet you were going to change them all.
I hope you're not suggesting that P.C. Bradley and P.C. Bellamy were lying about what they overheard. Because if so, I think I know who a judge is likely to side with.
All right, you win. So do the squatters, by the looks of things.
You disappoint me, Mr. Lawson. A man in your position, deliberately committing a criminal act?
I know. I was just desperate, that's all.
Look, I do understand your predicament, but there are the proper procedures.
Well, are you going to charge me or what?
No, I don't think that'll be necessary. Strictly speaking, after all, you were damaging your own property. So I'll let you off with a caution this time, and this time only.
Your blood pressure's slightly higher than it should be. It's not enough to worry about, but you've got to make sure you get enough rest.
Sum up.
Can't you get your boyfriend to do some of this planting?
He's an artist, he needs to concentrate on his work.
He needs to concentrate on you and the baby as well. Looking forward to being a dad, is he?
He don't talk about it much. Still, men are like that, aren't they?
So, where shall we take them to then, Mr. Vernon?
First rule of business, David, is to cut out the middleman. Why let the shops have all the profit? We'll sell them ourselves.
That's twice as much as Mr. Steve was asking.
You don't understand finance, do you, David? You see, Steve told us what he wanted, and that's what he'll get, fair and square. The rest is profit for me, to cover business expenses and such like.
What expenses?
Well, it's petrol money for a start.
Well, I paid for that.
All right, my time and effort.
What about mine?
All right, our time and effort, plus our electricity bill.
Oh, yes.
Hi.
Bye, Amy, and remember what I said.
Hello. Listen, how'd you fancy showing me the highlights of Ashfordley sometime? I just thought it'd be nice to get to know the place.
God, I thought Alf was your best bet. He's lived here much longer than I have.
I prefer something a little more decorative to look at over dinner.
Oh, and I prefer something a little older. But thanks anyway.
Do some of the planting today. You'll be happy enough to eat what I grow though, won't you? Where's Steve?
Hiya.
Hi, Tom.
Listen, I was wondering, I don't suppose you fancy showing me the highlights of Ashfordley sometime? I thought it'd be nice to get to know the place.
Oh, that'd take all the 10 minutes.
Is that a yes or a no?
What, you seriously want me to give you the guided tour?
Well, not exactly, no. I was thinking more of a meal.
Go on, then. I can't remember the last time I went out for dinner. But it is just dinner, OK?
Yeah, OK.
Go on, how much is it? Come on, tell him 16, please. I'll get you change. Mr. Vernon, can you lend us a hand? Want to tell her 2 of those? Can you be careful with that? How much? Right.
Can I help you?
Yeah. You can stop selling on our pitch.
I wasn't aware that anybody owned this particular square foot of pavement.
No. But we own the craft shops around here, and you're taking our customers.
Well, surely you can sympathise with a fellow entrepreneur. What? On second thoughts, perhaps we could come to some arrangement.
How could you? I'm carrying your child. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
You chose to have it, not me, so don't start hanging that over my head.
But I love you.
That doesn't mean you own me. Look, I'm free to do what I want, just like you are. I don't get heavy with you.
No, because I don't do things like that.
Stop hassling me, will you?
Guess what? I asked Gina Ward out on a date. And she said yes.
Well, she must be desperate.
You're just cheesed off because you didn't think of it first.
But why don't you get on with your paperwork? Catch up on the time you lost.
Just had a phone call from Lawson. He's finally got his possession order. He and the bailiff are going over there now, and I think we ought to have a police presence in case things turn nasty.
Right, Sarge. Come on, Phil.
By the way, Ventrance, I think you'll find that 19 down is graft. An unfamiliar concept to you, evidently.
Bloomin' shopkeepers. You'd think they'd be in favour of a bit of free enterprise.
Yeah, well, at least they bought the pots.
Yeah, but I had to reduce my prices. Still, that's 3 outlets we've got. And if they sell well, they'll want more. And then we'll get more outlets. Do you know, David, it's not such a bad old world after all.
John spotted Lawson on his way over here, and it looks like he might have a bailiff with him.
Right. Let's get everyone together. We all know what to do.
Yes?
Could I speak to Stephen Tranter and Amy Watkins, please?
Sorry, they don't live here anymore. They're next door.
And you are?
Laura Maidstone.
Well, and you live at number 3?
No, I live here now.
See you later.
What are you doing? Why didn't you serve the summons?
I'm afraid I can't. It has to be served on the named occupant at that address. And they don't live at those addresses.
Can't you see what they've done? They must have known you were coming and swapped houses.
Just calm down, sir. The law's the law. You'll have to apply for more possession orders with their new addresses on.
And have them swap houses again? The whole thing's a farce.
Better luck next time!
You won't get away with this!
This isn't going to do you any good.
I'll have you yet!
Steve! I think someone's broken in. I heard him. Go and check. Please!
You've not lost much blood, but we'll get you to hospital. They can take a look at you. It may be a placenta previa. Can you radio through to let them know?
There were 3 of them, but it was dark and they were all wearing balaclavas. But we managed to pull one of them off, and I started flashing my camera at them, just to scare them off, really.
So you may have a photograph of this man's face?
Well, it was all a bit rushed. I doubt it. More likely to be elbows and feet, the way I was waving it around.
Still, if we could have the roll of film anyway, please. It'll be returned to you in due course.
Sure.
Have any of you touched this spanner? No. With any luck, we should be able to get some prints off it then, though probably not the main perpetrators.
Meaning?
Lawson wasn't very happy that the squatters fooled him today over the possession orders. In fact, he was quite threatening.
I see.
We should have charged him when we had a chance. Eh, Sarge?
What have I got to say? You drag me out of bed in the middle of the night, scare my family half to death.
Well, I'm sorry if we've inconvenienced you. But I should think that Stephen Tranter and Amy Watkins felt much the same when they were being disturbed.
And more scared. She might lose the baby.
And I'm sorry to hear that, but as I've said before, it's got nothing to do with me.
You made verbal threats.
That doesn't mean I was going to do anything. I was angry, that's all.
Like you were when you ripped up the floorboards and smashed the window.
No.
Look, it won't take us long to track down your hired help. And when we do, they'll point the finger straight at you.
Well, you'd better track them down then, hadn't you? But until you do, you've got no right to hold me here. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go home and get some sleep.
Nothing. And the bloke without the balaclava on has got his hand over his face. But we're never going to be able to pin anything on Lawson until we can track these thugs down.
What about those blokes we saw him with at the cottages? Bob Hardcastle and his mates. He was the one causing all the trouble at the Bring Buy sale.
Yeah, he was really laying into those squatters.
Yeah, well, we might have a link there. Better find this Hardcastle.
At lunchtime, he'll be at the Aidensfield Arms with his cronies.
Right, take Phil with you and see what he was up to last night. I'm going to return these to Laura.
What about me?
Well, someone's got to stay on the duty desk.
That's not fair.
Yeah, but they know Hardcastle, and we need to tread carefully on this one.
And not act like a bull in a china shop.
Hey, listen. Your time will come. Thanks, anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry there weren't more use.
Nah, can't be helped. Are they leaving?
Yeah, they're off tomorrow. I might move on myself, actually. The heart's kind of gone out of it. Well, it sours things, doesn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
I hope you managed to get Lawson. People like that shouldn't be allowed to get away with it.
Yeah.
Been in a fight, have you?
No, I fell over and had too much to drink last night.
Oh, aye. Drinking last night? No. You must be flush.
Yeah, well, Mr. Lawson paid me, didn't he? You know, when he took me on for the work for the cottages.
Lawson doesn't strike me as the sort of bloke that would fork out money for a job that didn't get done.
Of course, if it was a job that did get done.
Oh, aye. Then he'd be very generous. Do you hear what happened at the cottages last night?
Yeah.
They say the lad's in a bad way.
Critical.
We could be after them for murder instead of GPH.
Yeah, I mean... Well, that wouldn't be fair, though, would it? I mean... Well, it should be just the one that hit him.
That's right. But we've only got one suspect.
And if his fingerprints turn out to be the ones we found on the spanner...
Maybe we better carry on this chat. Down at the station.
Now, you've heard what they said. You've got to rest, and that means bed rest.
How can I? So much to do. We'll let the others do it for a change.
Exactly. I'm going to give them strict instructions to make sure you're looked after.
And you're sure the baby's going to be all right?
It's fine. You were lucky this time. So is your boyfriend, considering he must have a hard skull to get away with concussion after a blow like that.
Yeah, he must be dead relieved.
He only brought it on himself. I was never happy about squatting in the first place, but we had nowhere else to go. Still, maybe this has taught him a lesson.
You see, Mr. Farrell, the clay has to be exactly the right texture. And to ensure that, I add crushed eggshells. Works every time.
They're selling very well. In fact, I'd like to double the order.
Excellent.
Mr. Vernon?
Not now, David.
There's a sign in the window.
David, just wait outside, will you? Thank you, lad.
We were told to break into their cottage. But smash things up a bit. You know, put the wind up them.
But you did a bit more than that, didn't you, Mr. Hardcastle?
Look, it wasn't our fault. That lad came downstairs.
Steve Tranter?
Aye, and he threw himself at us like... I mean, it was self-defence in a way.
In Tranter's case, maybe. Carry on.
Well, then, all of a sudden, a load more of them came bursting in and they set about us. They were like animals, they were. I mean, I thought hippies were supposed to believe in peace and all that.
So you decided to give as good as you got?
Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was Joe. One of the other blokes. He was the one that hit him.
And these instructions, who gave them to you exactly?
I don't know. It was all done over the phone, anonymous-like. 20 quid in the ginnel behind the post office, and another 20 quid on completion. Not that any of us saw out of that mind.
My heart bleeds for you. Perhaps you should contact your union.
And you're trying to tell us you didn't even recognise this person's voice?
No. We've a pretty fair idea who it is anyway, Mr. Hardcastle. You were doing yourself no favours by trying to protect him.
Well, whatever ideas you've got, you're barking up the wrong tree. It weren't a man's voice. It were a woman's.
So, were we right?
You were. We've got all the names and addresses of the others. Sarge wants us to bring him in for questioning.
What about Lawson?
Well, it seems he's off the hook.
You're joking?
No, apparently whoever's behind this is female. Didn't give a name and they've never met, so it's a bit of a dead end. Come on, Phil, let's bring these others in.
How come they always get to go
I don't want to hear.
Afternoon. Steve around?
Well, haven't you heard? He got beaten up. He's in hospital.
That's terrible. Did he say anything about a load of pots?
No. Sorry.
Everything happens to me.
All right.
Lovely.
One of my favourite foods, curry. I could live on it.
Really?
Has anyone ever told you? You look just like Lulu.
No.
It's true. You've got gorgeous eyes.
Anyway, I was glad to hear those men had been arrested. I can't believe Bob was one of them, though.
It was me that tipped them off, you know. They get to do the exciting bit while I'm left manning the duty desk.
Oh, well, never mind. It's the result that counts, isn't it? Anyway, they were lucky you just had concussion. He should be out soon.
His girlfriend will be pleased then.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How do you mean?
Oh, nothing. I think they must have had a bit of a fallout, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. Can I have another glass of water, please?
So, what's fancy doing after this, then?
Go home to bed. It's been a long day.
Well, one can't book the muse just to order, you know. One has to wait for her call, so to speak. No, I'm not saying there's a problem. I can probably manage it by the end of the week. Right. Bye. That was Mr. Farrell. Some people have no respect for the arts. They think you can just churn it out to order, just like that. Oh, heck. What are we going to do?
Well, you could tell him the truth.
That's no good. We're going to have to be a lot more resourceful than that. When I think of that potter's wheel sitting there doing nothing, it... What? Do you know, David, I've always admired your spirit of adventure, your willingness to try new things. Go and get dressed. The muse calls.
I don't understand why you're asking me all these questions.
Just trying to get to the truth, Miss Watkins. Had you and your boyfriend been rowing on the day of the break-in?
Well, yeah, but I don't
What
think...
about?
It's none of your business. I caught him in bed with Laura Maidstone, if you must know.
So, decided to get your own back?
What are you getting at?
You rang Bob Hardcastle, who'd already met at the village hall.
Of course I didn't!
Be honoured too happy to get his own back on a load of squatters. You asked him to come and break in here.
Will you go now, please?
Steve, you wanted your revenge on, wasn't it? What did you do? Pretend you were scared and ask him to come downstairs and check who was there?
No! Well, I mean, yeah, I asked him to.
Knowing he'd be beaten up and that you'd get away with
It's
it.
not true!
What you
never...
didn't reckon on was not stop catching the blokes you'd hired.
What on earth do you think you're doing?
You take it upon yourself to go over there and interrogate a woman who is not a suspect, who is heavily pregnant and has just come out of hospital. From now on, you do not set foot outside here without consulting me. Is that understood?
I was just...
Is that understood?
Yes, Sarge. I was just following a lead. I thought that's what police work was all about.
You should have talked to us first.
Oh, yeah? And then watch while you lot hot-foot it off and grab all the glory?
Well, there's not much glory to be grabbed.
How do you know?
Because the woman we're looking for has a southern accent, not a local one.
Come on, David, it can't be that difficult. What are you doing? Oh, I said pots. No! Not bad, David. Come on, David.
Can you help me?
What?
The waters are broken.
David, quick, get to the phone box, phone the doctor, quick!
I think the baby's coming. Oh,
Oh no, not now. Not now, we can't!
Dr. Summerby, it's David!
there isn't going to be time to get you to hospital, Amy. You're going to have to give birth here. You okay with that?
Right, well, I'll leave you to it then.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm going to need you here. Get me warm water, towels and soap.
Am I disturbing you?
No, come on in, Oscar. I'm just preparing some lunch. Fancy a sandwich?
Oh, yes, and a coffee. Listen, I want you to listen to this. A group of homeless people who took over some derelict cottages on the North York moors are shown here being set upon by thugs wielding iron bars. Well, it certainly provided a talking point in the pub this morning, I can tell you.
This is one of Laura's photographs.
Yeah, well, she's probably sent it to the press to publicise their cause.
Maybe.
Oh, it's David. It's, Miss Amy all right?
I'm fine. Come up, David.
What you going to call him?
I was thinking of Vernon, actually.
Oh.
Except he's a girl.
You might have noticed, Vernon, if you hadn't had your eyes screwed shut.
Hello. Could I speak to the editor, please? Thank you.
Steve, good to see you. Listen, I've got an order for lots more of your pots, so when can you get started on them?
Sorry, I'm not interested, man.
What?
I've had it with the rural scene. I'm going back to London.
But you can't! Not now they're beginning to sell.
Oh, there's some more news. So, Miss Amy's had a little girl.
Haven't you heard?
Yeah. How are they?
Why don't you go up and see for yourself? Or is that too much to ask?
Is Laura here?
No, she left this morning with the others.
Any idea where she's headed?
I think she got a lift to the station.
Well, aren't you going to say something?
She's very nice. Listen, I'm going to go back to London. When you're up to it, you and the baby can come and join me, if you want.
I would have once. I'd have followed you anywhere. But you know what? I couldn't care less about you now. And it feels great. It's like only realising you're ill once you've got better. I'm staying here. I'll bring the baby up on my own.
If you're sure that's what you want.
Just go.
Christine? It's Christine Collins, isn't it? Journalist.
Mr. Walters?
What can I do for you?
Well, it's this pot.
Aye, lad, I can see it's a pot.
Well, this is one of Mr. Steve's pots. Mr. Vernon wants me to find some more pots like Mr. Steve's pots, but aren't. Well, because I can't, make pots. Well, I mean, not like Mr. Steve can.
Well, David, happen you could just be in luck.
You were just posing as a squatter, weren't you?
So, there's no law against that.
No, but hiring thugs to get some photos to get a front page spread is. Incitement, I think it's called.
If you could prove it, maybe. The trouble is, a voice over the telephone isn't much to go on, is it?
Doesn't it bother you that people have been hurt? And someone's facing charges of actual bodily harm?
It's not my fault if one of the yokels got a bit carried away. Was there anything else?
Yes, there's a message from your editor. He's looking forward to seeing you when you get back. I don't think he was too pleased that you engineered the story. Something about breaching journalistic ethics. I think you'll be looking for a new job when you get home, don't you?
We'll have them with you this afternoon, I promise. Right. Bye. It's all your fault. One pot's like another, indeed. We've scoured the whole of the area, and what have we found? These. Well, I hope they're better than your last effort. Oh, not bad.
I got them from the sale room.
How much?
6 each. Oh, you all right, then?
They're just the ticket, David.
Well, it just goes to show you can't believe everything you read in the papers.
I don't know. I don't think all journalists are as bad as that.
Well, let's just hope she does get the sack. It's Amy that worries me, though.
Why? The baby and her are all right, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fine. But what's going to happen once Lawson gets his possession order? And where's she going to go? Talk of the devil.
Whiskey, please, Oscar. And you're on.
Oh, thanks. I'll have a small one with you. Well, you certainly look more cheerful than the last time I saw you. Wouldn't have anything to do with little birdies having flown the nest, would it?
It might be. I don't know who was behind that break-in, but whoever it was, they've done me a favour.
Well, I think it was the squatters that did you a favour. Those cottages look better now than they've done in ages.
Point taken. I did let them hang about far too long. Still, I'm about to remedy that. That is, providing the council smiles favourably on my application to turn them into holiday homes.
Oh, I thought there might be a reason behind this. You're not trying to bribe me, are you? Not in front of a police officer?
Of course not.
Although I might be able to put a word in for you. In return for a small favour.
And what might that be?
Wouldn't it be nice if at least one of the cottages went to a local? And I'm sure you wouldn't want to be responsible for turning a mother and her baby out into the streets.
All right. I'll get her a rent book.
Maybe it was no bad thing that Steve left. That's 90% clear profit.
Oi! What do you think you're playing at?
I'm sorry.